Welcome, seekers of nuance and guardians of truth, to a brand new and unforgettable broadcast from Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Tonight, Istanbul feels frozen at the apex of a taut silence, a kind of charged pause still echoing through the hallways of Turkey's brightest stages. In a universe where limelight often burns hotter than sincerity, we witnessed a flash of honesty so sharp it sliced straight through the old pact between stars and the microphones that chase them. Here at Turkish Spotlight Secrets, we're going to unfurl, with the care of a conservator and the urgency of a reporter, the tremor set off by the incomparable Alina. This is not a simple carpet anecdote. This is the manifesto of a woman who measured the cost of her words and decided her quiet had been undervalued for far too long. Before we turn the lens to this evening of velvet boundaries and steel-edged poise, a gentle plea from our newsroom's beating heart. If the kind of sensitive, detail-rich storytelling we bring you matters, subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Hit the bell so you never miss a moment that changes the conversation. And if you're ready to stand with us and access the exclusive content we craft off camera, click join now. Your commitment to Turkish Spotlight Secrets powers our independence, funds our deep dives, and keeps these narratives honest. Now, hush the room and lean in. Alina has spoken, and what she said quietly sealed a door many expected would always swing open for others to pry. The night had begun as a sonnet to finesse. Under a pale moon that seemed to argue with diamonds on wrists and throats, a global luxury brand staged the event of the season. The scent of privilege hung heavy in the air, stitched with the insect hum of lenses angling for the prettiest angles. When Alina stepped into the light, time yielded. She moved with that paradox she's made her signature, delicate face, unbreakable will, gathering the flash storm to her like a tide. Draped in lines that whispered of precision, she gave the press exactly what etiquette demands and fans adore, the breath of her current triumphs, the horizon of jobs to come, a wink at the craftsmanship behind her style. It was the mechanical waltz of show business, well-rehearsed and perfectly timed. But in the world of Turkish whispers, calm is often only the delicate lace thrown over the storm's face. While Alina described the work ethic chiseled into her days and the projects demanding every scrap of her focus, a reporter angled for the digit that would detonate the feeds. The question wasn't about a role's emotional spine or a director's guidance. It swerved into the sanctum of what she keeps for herself. "What do you have to say about the recent claims regarding Navruz?" he asked, dropping a name that has followed her across stages and sets like a restless echo. The red carpet's luster turned brittle. Her bright smile cooled, and in its place a calm as exact as glass. No eyes toward handlers. No evasive little nods. No soft shoe around the intrusion. She stood upright, poised like the leading women of a bygone era but with a modern edge that admits no trespass. And then, after a hush that stretched tight across everyone's nerves, she let the boundary line appear in plain ink. "I find that question extremely disrespectful," she said, measured, steady, the sentence landing with the finality of a door closing with polite certainty. In the wake of that single, controlled rebuff, she ended the exchange, thanked the room with a cool courtesy, and glided away from the step and repeat, leaving a vacuum where chatter should have been. The clip, caught by every screen in the vicinity, rippled outward and became the evening's drumbeat. This wasn't a flinch. It was a carefully drawn perimeter, a refusal to let her name be held hostage by someone else's narrative. Here, Turkish Spotlight Secrets pauses to ask you, was her response too unsparing, or was it the only stance left to a young woman who refuses to be reduced to an accessory? Where does the press's right to press end, and where does a person's right to quiet begin? Tell us below, your thoughts give this channel its lamplight. And remember, if you appreciate the care we pour into these stories, tap like and consider supporting us by joining Turkish Spotlight Secrets through the join button. Your support sustains this kind of craft the algorithm often overlooks. Back to the night that sparked it all. To fully grasp why Alina drew that line, we need to rewind over the seasons of speculation that have tried to stitch her every move to Navruz. From the minute their names began to share headlines, the rumor mill circled like gulls over a sunlit harbor. They've each tried, at different turns, to steer the ship toward their individual work, but the wake left by their pairing, real, imagined, or simply misread, has been a constant presence. People close to Alina tell Turkish Spotlight secrets she's exhausted in a way long hours alone can't explain. It isn't only the grind of set calls at dawn or jet lagging between campaigns. It's the heavy feeling of arriving at a milestone and hearing, at the podium, the same tired question about a man as if her own labor were the footnote. In the green rooms and corridors, it's whispered that Alina believes it's unfair to carry yesterday's headlines like a name tag to every new achievement. She spends months tuning herself to the demands of a role, rearranging her life to serve the work, and then the tabloids flatten all that into a romance outline with her as the placeholder at center. What you saw on that carpet wasn't a lash out at a single reporter. It was the visible edge of a decision forged quietly, a vow to stop making polite room for trespass. Our sources say Alina has no appetite left for soft answers that excuse bold intrusions. She's marked where the rope should be and means to hold it, with the same conviction she reserves for scenes that demand everything she's got. The shock of her stance rolled through the ballroom like a minor quake rattling crystal. Colleagues blinked, whispered, took a measure. From table to table traveled the same half sighs and half salutes. She's done being patient, she's reached her limit. Still, throughout the remainder of the night, Alina held to her social obligations with an almost wintry grace, her smile crisp, her focus fixed. As for Navruz, he kept his counsel. No notes on socials, no late-night clarifications. Some read that silence as respect for Alina's line in the sand, others saw strategy, a choice to keep the blaze from leaping higher. Whichever interpretation wins, the public chapter that knit their names together, for now, appears to have its cover closed. At Turkish Spotlight Secrets, we've examined the recalibration underway within Alina's team. Whispers say that moment on the carpet was only the opening move in a strict policy, no oxygen for sensation. She's reportedly in talks for work beyond the borders, plus alliances with high-end houses that stake everything on poise and credibility. She knows that shedding the label of someone's counterpart is a necessary pivot if she's to be counted among the definitive actors of her generation. Expect a new cadence at her press moments, topics ring-fenced in advance, and a quiet insistence that the story belongs to the person who lives it. Tell us, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, who else would you like to see stand before flashing cameras and claim their space with the same clarity? Which upcoming films or shows should we dig into next? Your requests are the compass that steers us where the light matters most. And don't forget, joining our channel grants you badges and exclusive content we save for our closest supporters. When you click join on Turkish Spotlight Secrets, you directly elevate the quality of work we can bring you. The night that began with sequins and soft spotlight ended with a sentence that will keep resonating long after the red has been rolled up. Alina Boz didn't merely wear elegance, she defined it as the courage to draw a boundary precisely when the moment called for it. With a single, unwavering line, she cut through seasons of chatter and implied, without fuss, that her name from here on should sit beside her craft, her hours, her choices, not the fantasies that thrive in headlines and hashtags. And 2025? It looks like the year Alina refuses to be a character written by somebody else's pen. The year she takes the director's chair in the story of her public life and decides which scenes deserve her face and which do not. Turkish Spotlight Secrets will be watching every step, every role, every deliberate silence and carefully chosen word as she climbs, no, as she builds, the next level. We hope this closer look helped you read the emotion beneath the image and ask why it was necessary. If Alina's stance resonates with you, tap subscribe, press like, and consider becoming part of our private circle via the join button. Your presence is the reason Turkish Spotlight Secrets matters to those who care about the truth beneath the glitter. Thank you for spending this evening with us. Until the next story, where the stars' hearts find their center and the noise falls away.